Hey guys, I'll try to keep this video nice, short, and sweet. So today I pretty much got or I didn't. It's been a while. I wrecked my car. I didn't really wreck it. I got hit from the side, and it's all fixed now. Some dumb bitch hit me, but I finally got around to getting the intake. The reason why I told you about the collision is because I got this intake before the collision actually happened. So. I dropped it in right when it came out of the shop, and it's doing pretty good. I just wanted to give some tips for people who are planning to install the intake for their own r18 engine on the 9th Gen forums. Some of the little troubles that I ran into while installing it. Some people will probably have fitment issues with the spacer and the intake, but everything clears pretty much well. I mean, you can see that the filter. Just barely. It doesn't even. It's not touching. It's just barely. Like I'd say, there's less than an inch of gap between the heat shield and the intake filter, but I think it's gonna do fine. It has a bracket, so it's held down pretty well. Some of the main issues I had with installing the intake, the spacer was just fine. I think you can see it. It's down here. I got a silver one just because smog testing. It doesn't have a carb sticker, so yeah, I wanted to kind of camouflage it with the intake so I wouldn't get in trouble. This doesn't have a carb sticker either, but I can easily get past that by putting some fake one up here. I'm not really worried about that. Car's still pretty new. There'll probably be a carb sticker released for this intake by the time, smog testing rolls around. So since I added the spacer, it added about like an extra 10 millimeters of gap, so that kind of messed me up. But this coolant line, the one from K&N, was too long. It was kind of like all the way up here. So it was pretty cheap anyways too, and the clamps came with it were really bad. So I dropped down by my local auto parts store, and I picked up this coolant line, and I used the OEM clamps, which work really good. And the problem with K&N, the coolant line that they provide, is actually pretty like shitty. It's not rubber. It's like really flimsy silicone, and it doesn't even fit over this properly. And the clamps don't clamp down all the way without breaking. So I just went with this, which is a thinner line. I think I'll get this. I'll put the size in the description for this line. Breather hose, I had to cut that. That was too long. Intake fit pretty well. I didn't really have troubles with that. Last thing about the intake was this. This was probably the biggest bitch. As you can see, I have a brass fitting here. Before it, the one that came with the intake was plastic, and the plastic one I screwed in. I mean, I screwed it in hand tight, and there were still threads showing, so I, twisted it with the wrench so it would be flush. You see right here, you'd think it would be flush with the intake, but it's not. So after I twisted it with the wrench a couple times, it just snapped in half. So I got that also, this brass fitting, from my local parts store. I think that's 1/4 of an inch. If you guys have the same problem, don't be afraid to hit me up and ask me what to do. But yeah, overall impressions, I'll make another video about that. I'll make sure to put in a driving video for you guys. Install on the rate of 1 to 5, it was probably a 2. It wasn't that bad. For the spacer, I would say definitely have a partner with you to hold it for you while you bolt the throttle body onto it, because it does slip sometimes. The OEM gasket does do a good job of holding it on there, but it'll probably slip if you try to bolt on the throttle body on your own. Thermal gasket, we already went over this issue. There's no cutout for the evap for air to escape into it. All you really got to do is drill a hole and match it up so you don't get a check gas cap light. But yeah, I'll post up a video, and thanks for watching, guys.